It's 2017, and there's a world of smartphones out there. Smartphones are categorized into three main categories: budget, mid-range, and premium. In this video, I want to compare a smartphone from each category and see what the differences between the categories are. So for my budget smartphone, I picked the Moto G5 Plus, which can be found on Amazon at its lowest for $230. For our mid-range phone, I chose the OnePlus 5, which can be found on oneplus.net for a starting price of $479. And then for our premium phone, I chose the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, which can be found on Amazon for around $740 as of the recording of this video. Prices do fluctuate though, so link below so you can check it out. So it's Jacklyn here for Android Central, and let's get into it. Let's start with build. Build quality is something that you're going to notice right away because you feel it the second you hold the device in your hand, and the first thing that you're going to notice about it is how it looks. So it needs to look good and feel good, at least in my opinion. So as the price increases, build quality is going to get a lot better, but let's start with the Moto G5 Plus. It feels okay in the hand. It definitely has a very plasticky feel to it, and it's also pretty clunky given its thickness. I also don't love the really chunky bezels on the front of the phone. So a common theme with the budget smartphones is that there's really no great build quality there. They all try to be like a premium smartphone, but they all really miss, or at least the ones that I've tried have missed. This one is definitely one of the better ones, but it's still not great. That plasticky feel really turns me off. So when you go all the way up to the premium category, or the S8 Plus in our case, for the example, the material choice and looks and just build quality as a whole really improves. The S8 Plus packs a Gorilla Glass 5 panel on the back and a super sexy design with the display pouring over the edges, giving the phone a very futuristic look and feel. The bezels on the phone are also extremely thin, giving the S8 Plus the highest screen-to-body ratio out of the three devices. In the mid-range category, you'll often find phones that pack builds that blow away the budget phones, but they don't really come that close to the premium phones, and that's definitely true with the OnePlus 5 here, which is what we're using as the guideline. Made out of a high-quality metal, the 5 gives a solid, if slightly slippery feel in the hand. Its buttons are also easy to press and not flimsy in the least like the buttons found in the G5 Plus. However, the big bezels up front make it an easy second place to the S8 Plus. So as expected, the build quality on these phones correlates to the price of them. But an area that doesn't follow this trend is the software. Let's talk about that. Both the Moto G5 Plus and OnePlus 5 run a very stock version of Android. They look a lot cleaner and have minimal to zero bloatware, unlike the S8 Plus. The G5 Plus and OnePlus 5 also fly through software animations and other little things included in the software, like a swipe up. And that's not to say that the S8 Plus or other flagships are slow, but most of them have a skin placed on top of stock Android, which ruins the experience a little bit in my opinion. The S8 Plus's skin is okay, but in order of which software experience I like best, it would go OnePlus 5, Moto G5 Plus, and then the S8 Plus, which is kind of surprising because the S8 Plus is substantially more expensive, but often with higher-end premium flagship phones, as I've already mentioned, they often have heavier skins than the budget phones, or at least the budget phones that I typically test. But an exception to that would be the Pixel, but the S8 Plus has a pretty heavy skin with a pretty significant amount of bloatware. Definitely less than past years, but it's still not my favorite skin on Android. Camera performance turns the tide again in the S8's favor, as it has one of my favorite cameras on the market. Where the Moto G5 Plus or OnePlus 5 have a very hit or miss camera experience, the S8 Plus nails almost every single shot it takes. The G5 Plus tends to miss focus or mess up the exposure, while the OnePlus 5 is plagued with similar issues alongside very shaky video, as it doesn't have optical image stabilization. And where that's okay in the Moto G5 Plus because the price is significantly less, the OnePlus 5, in my opinion, should definitely have it for its price tag. The S8 Plus does pack the stabilization, so it gives it the W in video as well. The OnePlus 5 does have two cameras to the S8's singular shooter, but as of now, the added depth of field effect feels a little bit like a gimmick, as the shots never turn out quite how I expect them to. Photo and video quality found on each of these phones makes it pretty clear where manufacturers cut their budget. I think that for the most part, mid-range and budget smartphones really do not have great cameras, but flagships almost always do nowadays. If you look at other flagships like the G6 or the Pixel or the HTC U11, they all have really awesome cameras, so I think that the flagships definitely win in camera performance, and if you're a photographer like myself, that could be enough reason to go with something like a flagship over a mid-range or a budget phone. Another category which shows a main difference in these smartphones is screen technology. The Moto G5 Plus's 1080p panel is nothing to laugh about, especially for the price. It gets pretty bright and it's also decently sharp, but the viewing angles are subpar at best, and so is the color reproduction. The OnePlus 5, on the other hand, is also a 1080p panel, but it looks a lot better. The colors pop more, and the off-axis viewing angles are very respectable. Even though both of these phones have very passable panels, the S8 Plus's 1440p vibrant panel creams them. It is my favorite display in the market, but other premium phones at this price, like the G6, also have pretty comparable displays to the S8 Plus as well. If you buy a Moto G5 Plus or an Honor 6X or any other budget smartphone, you definitely are not going to be disappointed every time you see the display, but you won't be blown away like I am or like other people are when they see the S8 Plus display every time they open it. I'm just always amazed how vibrant and how sharp it is. Really nothing like it. The last two main areas I want to discuss is battery life and performance. In terms of battery life, they all have somewhat similar, with the Moto G5 Plus having a slight edge. The S8 Plus is the biggest battery at 3,500 mAh, but it has to drive a 6.2-inch 1440p amazing display, and it's super high in specs, so the best I got it to last was somewhere around 5.4 hours of screen on time. The best I got the OnePlus 5 to last was also 5.4 hours, but my average was more like 4.5 hours of screen on time. The Moto G5 Plus was the best out of the three of them though, as I've gotten 6 hours of screen on time on moderate use multiple times. The last topic to discuss is performance, and this one's a little bit of a tricky one. The Moto G5 Plus is obviously outclassed with its Snapdragon 625 chip and 4GB of RAM, but the OnePlus 5, even though it's a lot cheaper, holds up against the S8 Plus. They both have a Snapdragon 835, and where the S8 Plus maxes out at 6GB of RAM, the OnePlus 5 goes up to 8GB of RAM with only a $60 price increase. That's really impressive. So the specs on the OnePlus 5 are absolutely killer, but that's definitely the exception and not the rule for mid-range smartphones. All of the phones have pretty solid performance though. The Moto G5 Plus might lag a few seconds behind in comparison to the other devices here, but in standard real-world use, you probably won't even notice that. Okay, so for the most part, as expected, the S8 Plus took the cake in most categories, but it's really impressive how close the budget and mid-range smartphone came. Now, I still think that premium smartphones like the S8 Plus have a place in the market for tech enthusiasts like myself, or people that are willing to go on like a $30 a month payment plan, or dish out the $600+ on day one. But for someone that's just looking for a great smartphone experience, the Moto G5 Plus and the OnePlus 5, or any other mid-range and budget smartphone, are going to give the S8 Plus and every other premium smartphone a run for its money. If you enjoyed the video, you're going to want to give us a like. We need it. And give us a comment down below if you liked it, what you want to see next, and we'll catch you all later. Bye!